Yeah, this is one of your hosts, of course, Easy Yon up in the cut. This is kind of a different episode of the spot we got going on today so far. Uh, just one of the people is out for a bit, so we just want to do our quick thoughts on episode 3 and 4 for Force, season 3, well, season 3, episode 3, episode 4. So I'm gonna quickly run through some stuff, and then yeah, we're gonna get to it real quick. But yeah, essentially, episode 3. It's kind of rough, I mean, with Tommy and Diamond, essentially, because after the previous episode, if you recall, Chavo's body basically got shot up by the Marquez cartel. And essentially, it's kind of like a jeopardizing thing to their business, because now it's like, yo, are we at war with the cartel? Like, do we want to be a part of this coalition? Now that's what Chavo's crew is thinking of, and all the people in the DSDs. But Tommy and Diamond meet up with the DSDs and let them know that they're going to be paid for Chavo's loss, and they're going to do what they can to go against the Marquez cartel and Ortega. They're alright with that, but the United Kings, I mean, while they're trying to be partners with the United Kings, you know, Tony and Diamond bring CBI together and all that, United Kings don't want to get a war with the cartel. I mean, it's common knowledge knows nobody really wants to fuck with the cartel, and in this case here, they're playing it smart. They got families in Mexico, can't be fucking around like that. So at this point, it's when Tommy approaches the Serbians, and he's like, look, I got Merkovich, he's, you know what I mean, he's taken out, but the Marquez cartel took him out, so now we got a common enemy. Let's go fuck them up, let's go take their product, do what we gotta do to mess up their shit. And they're down. They agree, they're down, because now it's a common enemy, and in the world of power, as you know, any of these shows really, it's kind of a common theme to kind of team up with people that you fucking hate, even though it gets the job done. So that's the stuff with Tommy and Diamond. Now there's obviously tension going on throughout the season we're gonna see in terms of rulership and, you know, partnership and all that, coalition, because we know Tommy, he thinks he's the head honcho, but he's telling Diamond they're partners, but that's not how it is with all the moves Tommy's making. He's making moves without really telling Diamond, and somehow it impacts their organization. He's not reckless, but Diamond is just trying to pick up and understand on who Tommy is. Like, why isn't he cooperating as he should be? Again, we're gonna have dissension definitely down the road, no doubt about that. But then, this is something viewers did notice. You go on Reddit, you notice it as well. Maria is most likely pregnant. She's definitely pregnant. She definitely got Tommy's child. I mean, who else really, you know? But she goes to talk with Miguel, and she's letting him know, like, look, I'm watching you, and don't make a move on Tommy. Like, don't. You know what I mean? Like, I got my eyes on you. And Miguel's like, Maria, what do you think of me? Like, come on now. Like, we're good. You know? Because here's the thing, though. Miguel, he's just trying to be the nice brother. He's obviously playing an act because he's going to take out Tommy eventually. That's his goal. That's his mission. Hopefully, obviously, it doesn't happen. You know, Tommy's got that plot armor, but at the same time, it's Miguel. He's going to be doing anything for his sister, and you know, we may or may not see Maria in the next spinoff. Who knows? You know, this could be something serious going forward. But Miguel, in the meantime, confronts that one hitter that he hired, who he found out was working with Ortega, and then kills him, and then feeds the finger to his pet piggy. A little pet piggy Miguel's got going on there. And eventually, Miguel calls Ortega, and he's like, yo, let's work together. Let's take out fucking Tommy Egan. So Miguel, who's a part of Shay's Estrada cartel, is slowly working with Ortega and the Marquez cartel. So we got a lot of shit going on now. That's gonna brew heavily going forward. But Claudia, though, Claudia, man, she's trying to play smart, right? She's the Irish. She's got multiple lucky charms. You know, she's got all this luck going on, and she's got inmates in the prison she is at that like, yo, we're gonna stab you up because, you know, we know you don't have your protection with the Estrada cartel because you're working with Tommy. You know what I mean? That's not what the inmate said, but that's just the idea of what's going on. Because she's working with Tommy, the Estrada cartel aren't gonna protect her no more, which is logical from their perspective. But she eventually, Claudia, being a smart person, pays off the other inmates for protection, and then kills the bitch who's actually gonna kill her. The bitch who's at the end of season 2 who stabbed up Claudia for Juliana on behalf of Tommy ends up getting killed by Claudia. So whole crazy fucking twist going on. But then we move on to Stacy Marks. This girl's running for mayor, and at the conference they got going on, say, what will I do as mayor? Her divorce gets leaked And because of that, she starts losing donors. Things just start going off the haywire. It's ridiculous and it's bad news. And it's just one of those things where now she's got to deal with this Ortega prosecution, the cartel prosecution, Tommy Egan. Her divorce just got leaked, so it's going to affect her mayoral campaign. It's just not even, it's just getting worse because now Ortega's lawyer, that Chan dude, who I think his name is Chan, he has a motion to suppress evidence because like a warrant mistake, something about a date or a number error. And if you get towards the end of this episode, you realize that Sang, that the Asian prosecutor dude who's working with Stacy, the one who always keeps going off on her, he's the one who edited the date and made it wrong, and he's been working with the Estrada cartel this whole time. So, or the Marquez cartel this whole time. So it's crazy to think that now we got all these leaks going on. We got this Agent Sandoval vibe going on. If you know, you know from Power Book 1. But now it's just getting reckless with all these swerves and plot holes. Not even plot holes, really. We just got swerves going on, and now we got to fill in these holes in the story to make it make sense. So, with Sang, who was also the one that leaked the divorce, and he's handling the prosecution of this Marquez cartel, this is going to be a rocky road, especially for Stacy, because now we don't even know what the fuck's going to happen. And D-Mac, Denard and Diamond are trying to get D-Mac killed. They're trying to set him up. They're like, yo, go take out the stash house from this crew who are known to be heavy-handed, you know what I mean, with the weapons and shit. And you'll hit them at the stash house, rob them, come back, we'll let you in CBI. No questions asked. D-Mac, though, pulls up with his crew, and this is where we think Marshall, because Marshall initially warned him, like, yo, back off, this is not a job you want to do. Marshall pulls up with him, and they bring some other friends of theirs, and while one of them gets got, you know, one of the crew, you know, D-Mac's crew, they make it out of there with the money, with the loot, and they survive. And when he pulls back up, he pulls back up to Jannard and Diamond's like, yo, hey, I got the job done. And Diamond and Jannard, their reaction was just like, what? Hold on a second, shorty, what? Looking at him like, they had to let him back in CBI. They couldn't say anything else, so they let him back in CBI. And obviously, if you know at that moment, Tommy's like, what the fuck? Because he's looking at them, like, shaking hands and agreeing to be in CBI. And while the episode does end on that cliffhanger, we're basically just wondering what's going to happen next. You got to focus on Vic Flynn's story, because Vic is as well. He's still, remember, he's a snitch. He's a CI for Stacy. He's trying to slowly get information from this, I think she's the campaign girl, like the assistant to Stacy in terms of the campaign. And, you know, Vic is sleeping with her to get information. Ray, I think his name is, and, you know, he's just trying to use her to get inside information on Stacy for the campaign stuff. And I mean, knowing Vic, bro, he's got that Irish gene and the whole finesse skill going on with him, so he's able to kind of maneuver around that. But yeah, the ending of episode 3, it's one of those power episodes where you hate that you have to wait another week for that shit, but you know something good's about to happen from it. Let me take a sip real quick. But then we go on to Force season 3, episode 4. Go straight into it. Diamond right away tells Tommy, like, look, yo, we're trying to keep D-Mac safe. We have eyes on him. Then we can keep him in the clear. Because King Kilo wants his head for killing his nephew. Who was that? I forgot his name. Oh, he'll come back to me. But he killed King Kilo's nephew, and because of that, now D-Mac's gotta pay. And now Tommy, just finding out about this, essentially is like, all right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to actually use this guy named Rashawn, who is in a rival gang, who was actually the one that took out Mad Dog. Mad Dog's his name, Mad Dog, yeah. King Kilo's nephew. And so they're going to try to set someone else up instead. But Tommy, he's still pissed off. He's like, yo, D-Mac is not in CBI. He's not in CBI. This is not happening, you know, especially under Tommy's watch. Like, come on now. And then Stacy. Man, Stacy's got a lot of shit going on for her, because now Stacy, she's got fentanyl related deaths now she's got to deal with. This isn't just Tommy Egan stuff, coke stuff. This is fentanyl laced product now. And this is going all over the town. This is another layer of stress for Stacy, because now she's got to figure out who the fuck is doing it and take out the Marquez cartel if they are the ones. But then Claudia straight up's like, yo, I'll testify against the cartel, but you got to give me some release. You got to help me out. And Stacy's like, shit. If you can actually get me what I need, I mean, we might figure something out. And it's one of those things where now we get a more look about the Agent Sandoval dude, the prosecutor Sang, the one working under Stacy, who's working with the Marquez cartel. He's just trying to rise up the ranks. He's just trying to sabotage Stacy essentially in her case, take her job as USA attorney, and pretty much do what he can to get it all out there. And basically, it's the best part is too, from his point of view, he thinks he has everything laid out, because he's essentially going to not tell the Marquez cartel about Claudia's testimony, and essentially he's going to use Claudia's release as a way to benefit him going forward, because he knows Stacy's possibly, he's probably thinking Stacy's going to fuck up somehow, and this will make him rise up further in the ranks. And I mean, like I said, shit, bro, a lot of stuff can happen, man. We're almost at the halfway point of the season. 5 episodes, classic 10 episode season as normal, so we gotta see more what's going on. But Shanti essentially, it's kind of one of those things where Shanti now tries to go do her own thing, right? We focus on Shanti. She goes meets up with Manny, and she tries to run her own thing, run her own game, make her own bread, independent, like that kind of stuff. Because Jannard's lacking. Jannard's a bitch for Diamond. Let's be real. And she's trying to make her own moves, but Manny is like, nah, you fucking with Jannard. If you guys remember Manny from season 2, when Jannard had that heroin addiction, he robbed Manny's chain. You know what I mean? He did that. He did some slimy shit. And now if you're Shanti and you're with Jannard, you're kind of stained forever because of that. So Jannard, once Shanti tells Jannard about this, Jannard goes out of his way to kind of make things up. He goes back to the dope dealer back in season 2, who he gave the chain to, took his shit by accident. Well, he gave him some, what he thought was heroin. He gave him fentanyl. Dude died. And Jannard took the chain, returned it to Manny, and Shanti and Manny are now good. So Jannard stepped up. He showed that he cares about Shanti's growth and satisfaction in life, and he was there for her. So can't get mad at Jannard. He stepped up, he leveled up, he did his thing. But then JP the man, he's trying to look out for D-Mac, but we don't get to see much of their growth together as a father and son. Their relationship was stained in season 2 heavily, and we're just only hoping that this season turns out better for them in terms of relationship. But in this case here, now we have another thing where Miguel is trying to hand Tommy over to the Marquez cartel, because even though Tommy's a huge asset to Shay, Tommy's sleeping with Miguel's sister. He does not like that at all. And so when they have the meeting with Shay, Shay's like, no war, but Tommy's assuring him, we're gonna get you bread no matter what. Doesn't matter, we got you. But overall, with this episode, this was definitely a setup into the halfway point of the show, because we got Rashawn's death as a setup. So King Kilo thinks that Rashawn was the one that killed Mad Dog, but he's still not convinced. He wants proof or her word from Rashawn's crew that, Mad Dog did something like rob Rashawn's crew or something like that. King Kilo doesn't believe Rashawn did it. He wants some actual proof. He's not buying this. It feels like a quick stall tactic out of nowhere. And at that point, King Kilo, there was a trailer shot, I believe, of him standing next to Jannard shooting someone. So you never know. That could be JP, for example. That could be someone that Jannard, maybe King Kilo puts pressure on Jannard saying, yo, we're gonna catch a body. Who was it? Probably gonna link up to Tommy, to D-Mac, and then they're gonna get JP as hostage and let Tommy know he better serve up D-Mac or else, and then boom. So I think it's just one of those things where King Kilo is definitely gonna play a role on the outside. We'll see that, because they want to make his screen presence so important, especially with someone like D-Mac, who's a main central focus of this show anyway. And Tommy, Elise tries to pull some stupid shit. She tries to get him on camera admitting he's a drug dealer, like with a phone in the pocket. But he slowly like pulls it out, knowing like, yo, I know you got that in there. Like, you don't gotta try this. You're not part of this game. You're not ready for this life. And I think this shows Tommy's growth as a character in the past decade. Like, he's been around the best and around the worst, and he's adapted every single time. So when it comes down to Tommy, like, Tommy is not gonna fuck up and fuck around for anybody. He's gonna make sure you get the warning. He's gotta off you, he'll off you, but if you're valuable to him in some small way, he'll keep you alive. You know, you look at people like Vic, he's kept him alive because he's a CI. Most CIs would just got right away back in old power, but Tommy realizes the usefulness for someone on the inside. So that's season 4, that's season 3, episode 3 and 4 Force. I know it's kind of rushed, quick thoughts, but just wanted to make sure everyone got the energy of what was going on so far. But we got Force season 3, episode 5 coming out soon on the spot, and more episode stuff to discuss going forward. Y'all take care and have a great night. Peace.